That's incredible. Kind of continuing that line of thought, where else do you see kind of use cases evolving of it from this? Like it really made sense. The example I think of is with my Kroger card or a Ralph's grocery card. I get points, but that's not really a visual experience. I think the enterprise really, really hit home for me, but I'd be curious to see what other use cases you see evolving from this.
Yeah, there's many. So the best analogy I use to what the platform is, it's like the App Store. So the App Store was created for developers around the world to build, distribute, monetize apps. But before the App Store, there wasn't even the notion of apps or the app economy. It was it was very difficult to access mobile and distribute on a wide basis these little programs. But once this platform came about that enabled easy distribution of those things and the tools to build them, a whole app economy was created. And so that's what BlockV is. It's a platform for all these developers to build this new kind of app, which isn't an app, it's a VATM. It's this unique digital good that's programmable, that's written to blockchains. So we've created two things. We've invented an entirely new asset class, a highly programmable token, and we've created the platform for developers to build those. And so then it plays into what are the use cases? Well, in the beginning with the App Store, there's only 20 apps. And what were the use cases? No one really knew because it could do everything. Apps do whatever you program them to do. VATMs do whatever you program them to do. The core difference being with VATMs, it's when you want to program a digital object that has value versus just, some information. So now, what are the best use cases of this? Well, like you mentioned, coupons. I use tickets a lot in my speeches because it makes a lot of sense, right? Everyone's talked about blockchain for tickets, but the blockchain for ticket is still a very flat experience. Mm-hmm. You pay a couple $100, get an email, and it's a PDF. Now imagine you pay that couple $100, you get an email, you click it, and all of a sudden this beautifully animated, intricate object pops up, digital object in your phone. It's a video of the artist saying how excited they are that you have bought the ticket, how excited they are about the show, and what their inspiration of the show was, and they can't wait to see you in 2 weeks. And then when you're at the show, it updates. When you scan the ticket, all of a sudden it updates and says, you were just entered into a backstage drawing for a backstage pass and you won. Or you didn't win, but here's a free popcorn, right? And so it's this, it evolves. And then after the show, it updates again with exclusive content from that show. So maybe she filmed a snippet backstage and talked about how great it was and she's thankful that you're there. And so now you have this ticket, this digital object that changed state from before, during, and after. Now after, it's this exclusive digital collectible because only the ticket holders have it and it's got exclusive content from that show. And if you're a fan, then you're going to collect it. If you're not a fan, you can sell it because other fans would want it. You put it on the exchange and they'll pay whatever the market price is for it. And then it goes one more level deeper because now this artist knows that anyone with this digital collectible, with this ticket stub, is actually a super fan because they went to the show and they kept it, or they went to the show and they sold it. So whoever possesses it actually really cares. And so now that artist can update this object and say, oh, here's my new tour. Or since you're a super fan, here's some exclusive content, or here's a bonus, or, wow. It creates that one-to-one connection.
Oh man, that's great. Cause I see that in crypto in general, but this almost takes it to another level of just really accelerating those network effects. I think that really does a good job highlighting it or just thinking about how you could interact with fans. One thing that kind of I thought of while you were mentioning that is that I understand how V is like the gas that's used on the network. Or these VATMs aren't on a blockchain per se. Like you described it a little bit more from an app sense. Maybe I'm still not understanding exactly how these are non-fungible in the sense that it doesn't seem like it's on a blockchain per se, but maybe your own proprietary technology or whatever it may be.
You have the option to do both. So that's really the power of the technology, as we discussed before, is that a VATM inherently is not a blockchain token, but if the developer wants that VATM to be a blockchain token, it can be. But a lot of use cases, it's fine if it operates in our system.
Okay. That makes sense. And that's when they would select like, okay, I want to reside on Ethereum or Bitcoin or EOS.
Right.
Gotcha. And can those communicate with each other in some capacity? Like, would it be possible for, like, we'll walk through an example of, suppose Bitcoin crashes or something, and the developer had already built their chain and atoms on that network. Would they be able to convert over to a different blockchain?
Well, since what we're really creating is a a duplicated instance, we would still have all of the metadata. But let's say Bitcoin crashed in your example, and the whole world ended at that point. But let's just say that
Yeah, sure.
Bitcoin crashed, and all that really means is essentially is there's no more record of ownership, right? So all these tokens, no one knows who owns them because the ledger
Oh,
crashed.
true. Okay. That, yeah, I see where you're getting at. Okay, that makes more sense. Because the
And
transaction, the ledger would still have it recording. So that's what you're describing in the metadata is, like, you can still verify that existence on block so and so, such and such.
yeah, so it would be recorded in our database. It just wouldn't be duplicately recorded on that blockchain.
Gotcha. And so you see those being in smaller capacity initially than people just wanting to interact with the kind of the sandbox and the tools that you guys are building.
Right. So imagine the CryptoKitties example. Let's say that it clogged Ethereum, et cetera, et cetera. It just because it takes time and costs money for every single transaction. But what if? But 90% of those transactions are for very small dollar amounts. So we can have that threshold where all the transactions exist, under $10 or under $100 or whatever on our platform. But then when it's over a certain threshold and someone really wants that instantly recorded to the Ethereum blockchain, or they want to hold it in a separate Ethereum wallet, then they can do that. But for the most part, the transactions will be done off chain and then batched up later.
Gotcha. I'd love to dive in a little bit more and just see like what kind of code bases are functional. I don't know if this might be a better conversation for your CTO. Do you guys have a public facing GitHub or anything like that?
Yeah, so that's coming. I don't. It is a better question for my CTO. We have built an extraordinary amount of code, and there is a GitHub link that's got some documentation on it, but I don't know what's published as far as the code is concerned. Our goal is by the end of Q1 to have our developer dashboard up, and there'll be a lot more stuff published then. But I can connect you with him.
Gotcha.
I don't have the answer.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I would also say I went through, I mean, right when I came across the project, I was instantly interested. I went through a painful experience of getting the V tokens off of OKX. So I'm hoping for your guys' sake, you're able to get some more exchanges listed in the future.
Yeah, that's all the people that are all of the community members definitely would appreciate that.
Yeah.
But for us as running the business, our real focus is building a very solid platform, a solid business, and we're really focused on delivering some extraordinary I don't want to say use cases or case studies. I just mean extraordinary products, like actually delivering this product here in
Yeah.
very short order where the whole world can start experiencing the power of the atom. And then the markets will take care of themselves, because that's really just a secondary market. And the market that we're fostering is developers using the platform, using V within our ecosystem, because that is what the token's for.
Makes sense. Awesome. Well, those were all my initial questions. I'll actually be in San Juan in the coming week, so would love to link up and potentially discuss more there. Do you have any final thoughts or kind of closing ideas you wanted to share?
Yeah, that I'm just really excited to be one of these pioneers in this tokenized business model industry, right? It's very, very new. And there's a number of ICOs, but very few of them are consumer facing. Almost none of them actually have a live product. And so we'll be one of the very first consumer facing blockchain based apps that's entire economy and ecosystem is built on a token. And in 2018 is the year of the Vatum. I truly believe the world will start understanding what we've been building for so long, because it's been hard for people to get their arms around. But once they start interacting with them, the aha moment will come.
For sure. And I can, and again, some of the initial examples, I would imagine developers on one side, but also some businesses, some enterprise solutions. Do you guys have any early conversations you're able to share about, potential clients?
Yeah, tons of conversations, but no clients I can share. lots.
Sure.
There's a lot in the pipeline that is very, very excited to utilize this technology.
Well, I'm really looking forward to